Welcome back to the kitchen. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a seriously spicy Szechuan chicken. Okay, so the first thing we're going to take care of is the marinade for our chicken. What we're going to be doing is using a soy sauce as our base and then adding seasonings to it. The one thing we are not going to add to this is salt, and that's because of the high sodium value that's already present in the soy sauce. Once the marinade is done, we're going to set that aside and you're going to slice your chicken up into thin strips. The thinner it is, the easier it's going to fry. So now I just want to take a moment to quickly show you how to debone a chicken thigh. What you're going to want to do is trace the edge of the bone with the tip of your knife. As you gradually begin to expose the bone, you can pull the meat apart using your fingers. This will tear it from the sides of the bone, making it easier for you to get underneath and slide up. Now you have a place to grip the bone as you cut down, and this will remove the knuckle. Ah, yes, the chicken skin. Okay, so you do want to remove this, but you do not want to throw that out. We are, in fact, going to keep that so we can bread it and fry it up with the rest of the chicken. The chicken skin, once it's fried, is going to add a wonderful layer of texture to our dish. Continue this process for the remainder of your chicken. Once it's all sliced up, you're going to add it into your marinade and mix it around. You want every piece to be coated evenly. Next, we must get our vegetables ready. You will need 1 red pepper, 1 green pepper, 8 cloves of garlic, and 40 Thai chilies. If you and spicy don't get along, I recommend going less than half for the chilies. Here's another little quick trick when it comes to cutting peppers. If you cut off one side, you can rotate it over to the next side and it'll be flat. It'll make it easier to cut. Just keep flipping it over and slicing it. Once the bell peppers are in segments, we're going to remove the pith, which is this little white part right here. We're then going to cut the pepper skin side down. The reason behind this is it offers less resistance to the knife when passing through it. If you want to add a little extra presentation value to your dish, you could cut your peppers like this on a bias. It does take a little more time, but the end result is pretty cool. However, if you are watching this right now and you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't think so, you could always just go back and do it the old-fashioned way too, and that works just as fine. Once you finish chopping up about the 8,000 or so pieces of chili peppers, you can move on to chopping up the garlic. After that, you're going to want to clean your hands and dry them. For the next steps are going to involve battering the meat, and we want our hands to be dry and free of any food debris. Okay, so this next part is an extra step, and it is not traditional in any way. However, the end result is a more crispy chicken. To do this, you're going to take small amounts of chicken at a time, and you're going to evenly coat them in cornstarch. When removing the chicken, just make sure that every piece is not stuck together and that it's evenly coated in the mixture. Give it a light tap on the side. You don't want any extra cornstarch. Cornstarch that hasn't adhered to the chicken is going to come off when you put it in the oil, and ultimately it will burn and affect the flavor. So try to remove as much as you can by tapping it lightly on the side of the bowl. So you want to know if your oil's hot enough yet for deep frying, but you don't have a thermometer? Not a problem. Submerge a wooden spoon inside the oil. If it starts to bubble steadily, that means the temperature is at about 350 to 375, and that's perfect for deep frying. If it's not bubbling enough, it's not hot, and if it's bubbling too much, it's too hot and you should turn it down. When frying the chicken, you want to treat it the same way that you did when you were dredging it in the cornstarch. And by that, you want to be putting it in small quantities. You want to avoid the chicken fusing together, but you also want it to cook evenly, and when it does, you'll get this result, a nice golden crispy brown. You're going to want to set all your cooked chicken aside, because the next step, we're going to be getting ready to saute everything together. In this video, I'm using a large wok. If that's something you don't have, you could substitute with a large frying pan. That will also work just as fine. As far as the oil is concerned, you'll want just enough oil to cover the surface of the pan. You're going to heat that oil on a mid to high range with your stovetop. Once the oil is hot enough, you're going to drop all the vegetables in at once. They will start to sizzle instantaneously. Now, for these last few ingredients, you typically want to add these to the oil first. These ingredients being minced ginger, chili oil, mine's a giant gob, and of course the Szechuan peppercorns. This would pull out the aromatics, but it also burns faster, and for the sake of this video, I added them in last so you'd had an opportunity to look at them. Allow an extra 2 minutes for all these new spices to cook out and get incorporated into your dish before you add the chicken. Notice how the chicken has 2 different colors, how one is darker than the other? The lighter colored chicken is in fact the chicken skins from earlier that we breaded in the exact same way we did with the chicken pieces. Finishing up our dish, you're just going to want to give the pan a couple good shakes to make sure everything gets mixed around and tossed in that seasoned oil. Lastly, remove food from pan and begin shoveling in mouth. Thanks again for tuning in. I very much look forward to hearing any of your feedback. Until next time, take care.